G'day guys, Coach Tarek back again for Animating the Cue series. In this video, what I want to cover is the whole metaphor of loading like a spring or analogy. So the idea is load and spring. So again, I want to point out that whichever metaphor analogy that we use, we got to think about the outcome of that. So what I mean by that is this. If I use a metaphor that is conducive to fast, something powerful, it needs to match that movement. So just really be mindful of that, is that we've got movements typically that are strength-based or more power-based. So if we look at a loose definition, then we can start to work backwards and say, what is the type of language that I want to use for these cues? Another point I will make is that we need to understand the cultural context of the cues that we use for our clients. Are they going to get it? We're going to also look at when, like what era do they come from? So if we're going to use, outdated cues that are like 30, 40 years analogy from a movie or a show or something like that, are they going to actually get that as well? So really be mindful of the context. Further on, you want to dig deep into their hobbies, their likes, their interests, their passion, almost like creating an avatar. That actually comes at the very beginning. So there's going to be more of that in the programs that we teach, especially in Coach with Purpose, in terms of understanding how to actually create an assessment to then manufacture and craft your cues. So this one, load and spring, I'll just show you two key movements here. So how you can describe this. So remember, you want to describe and set the tone. So here, as you've got the kettlebell, you're like a spring here, okay? So loading. As you come up, I want you to spring up. Load. So the idea of this language is that the outcome is slow, loading up, using that kinetic energy to then coming up a bit faster. So on that concentric phase of the squat, whatever it may be in this context, it's be like a spring. The second movement is this. In the power swing, how we set up typically is come back from the kettlebell, you're going to reach, you're going to pull, and then you're going to pop. So integrating those ingredients that we learned earlier. Now the idea is that when I'm in the reach phase here, I want to also load up like a spring. I'm creating this kinetic energy. So you want to get tight, and you also want to create this analogy of a slingshot here. So the idea is loading and springing. Think of yourself being like that slingshot here, like that rock. Pulling, I'm loading up, and then release. So it's getting ready, preparation, reach, pull, and pop, like that slingshot. So then they start visualizing that it's a powerful movement. It's drawing that energy and releasing in a very rapid, fast way. And so again, tying that whole idea of loading, springing, and then also creating that whole concept of creating that pull effect and then that release. Pull and release. So again, not getting caught up with too much technical language. So I can start to manufacture the way that I cue for the outcome of that movement. So load and spring, whether it's a vertical or whether it's a horizontal vector force movement. Load and spring. Thanks for watching, guys.